I kept it a secret. Not a single person knows about the pink toy hidden under my bed, or how I can't drift off unless I sense its gentle hum against Mimi. My name is Sloane, and this is the fixation that clings to me endlessly. It's not the hold of substances, nor the allure of alcohol, but rather something much more personal, an essential presence I seek each night, akin to a ritual, akin to the very act of breathing. Thank you, my amazing subscribers, for staying devoted to the captivating stories of Ella. Unfaithfulness. Your presence is everything to Menno. Let us dive deep into the essence of it all. It all began when I was just 18. A period brimming with wonder and solitude. I quietly longed for something just out of reach. An urge I had yet to comprehend. I acquired my inaugural toy through an online platform, a slender pink artifact that fits snugly in my hand, sparking to life. Feelings stirring inside me that were entirely unfamiliar. First, I interacted with it only once a week. From that moment forward, it revealed itself each night, unyielding and all-consuming. I need to have it in my possession before I drift off to sleep tonight. It seems as ordinary as the everyday act of brushing my teeth, akin to satisfying an unquenchable thirst. My body stays taut, yearning for liberation until I ultimately discover it. Only after I have genuinely immersed myself in it. There are moments when I manage to persuade myself. It's just a matter of habit. Yet beneath the surface I sense a depth of emotion. The burden of an immense significance. I crafted an enigmatic domain shrouded in secrecy. A spectral ceremony murmurs with gentle melodies. Faint glimmers create silhouettes in the twilight. A lack of distractions that enhances the ambience. Only I linger, wrapped in that intoxicating hum flowing through my thighs. I am keenly attuned to the fragile realms awaiting discovery, the exact pressure to exert and the manner in which to contort my body just so. I gasped, completely overcome by emotion. Into my pillow, the weight of unvoiced longing presses down as I labor. With unwavering determination, I whisper truths that shall stay eternally unheard. And as it draws to a close, I find myself lingering, wrapped in a profound stillness. Contentment intertwines with regret. A deep solitude surrounds. I concealed it, hidden away in a vault of secrets. In the depths of my heart's shadows, I found myself unable to accomplish it. The burden of the secret pressed down on my heart, a weight I could scarcely bear. That was the stillness preceding the tempest. Broken the instant he crossed the threshold. He is known as Maddox, the man who has captured my mother's heart. She met him on a dating app, and within just a few weeks he was in our home, settled comfortably on the couch, cradling his mug as though he belonged among us. At first, the idea stirred a sense of contempt within me. The mere idea of welcoming an unfamiliar face into our world sent a chill coursing through me. Especially the notion of him invading my personal space. Yet, in that moment my eyes were drawn to him. Maddox surpassed every expectation I had. He was an undeniable power, enveloped in a disquieting atmosphere of danger, not in a scary way. No, this was the sort of danger that caught you off guard. Your thighs tighten in an instant, stood tall with a commanding presence, shoulders that appeared to bear the burdens of the universe. A voice that echoed with the force of thunder and a jawline as sharp as a blade. It had the power to cut through the very air surrounding him. His salt and pepper hair exuded an aura of mystery, evocative of a moody protagonist from an alluring illicit love story. And then there were those arms of his, an imposing aura that appeared to command attention. The burden of existence etched into the soul, strong veins standing out in stark relief, kindling a torrent of reflections that draw me further into a vortex of doubt. I started to watch him from the dim recesses of the hallway. As he exerted himself in the garage, every motion infused with fervor, shirt cast aside, beads of sweat trickling down taut muscles, coiling with anticipation, prepared to release their inner strength. I understood the implications, yet an undeniable force drew me closer. As the shadows wrapped around me in the quiet of night, my mind began to wander. From him, A sense of unease began to emerge, and sparking a tempest of feelings within me. His arms ensnared me completely, a burden pushing down on my essence. His rough hands gripped my waist, a surge coursing through my being. His voice dripped with a sultry whisper, infused with allure. Whispers that sent chills racing through my veins. My small pink vibrator started to stir up memories of him, its presence expanding, becoming more substantial, stronger, more exhilarating. And then arrived that fateful night. The moment when thoughts intertwined, morphing into something far more perilous. And all that encompasses it started to change forever. I found myself utterly absorbed in it. My legs lay still, uncertain of what would unfold next. Suspended in the atmosphere, the toy serves as a soothing mechanism, guiding me into slumber with my eyelids firmly closed. I sensed my spine arch in a fervent plea. The name escaped my lips, carried on a breathless whisper. The moment the words slipped from my lips, the realization struck me. Maddox wandered through the fog. The creak of the door went unnoticed by me. As I gradually lifted my eyelids, the world came into focus. He stood there, a shadow cast in the faint glow. The atmosphere heavy with silent thoughts and relentless expectation, lingering at the edge of my entrance. Watching closely during the most excruciating moment, I continued forward unwavering. The atmosphere in the room throbbed with an unexpected energy, sending chills coursing through me. Longing, Maddox stood there, his hand gripping the doorframe tightly, an urgent struggle to contain the storm raging inside him. His gaze was unwavering, locked onto me with an intensity that seemed almost tangible, and I maintained my unwavering stare, unwilling to avert my gaze. Maybe I should have. Maybe I ought to have turned and left. I feigned that it was merely a transient mistake, but I opted against that notion. I could not manage to. My body rebelled as I persisted in moving the vibrator. The hum coursing through me, akin to an electric pulse sparking to life. A tempest of feelings. My heart raced fiercely in my throat. Every breath felt like a frantic battle, my chest rising and falling with a mix of eagerness and dread. It was the depth of his gaze, those haunting deep gray eyes that captured the very breath from my lungs. They sensed the relentless tug of a hunger that runs deep within them, not simply a matter of curiosity, vastly transcending simple astonishment, insatiable. I steeled myself for the sharp bite of humiliation, overwhelmed by a profound feeling of shame. What erupted within me was more than mere emotion, yet an ominous feeling of danger gripped my core. An overwhelming force pulsed between my legs, more powerful than anything I had ever experienced. Maddox strode forward, his presence commanding attention, shrouding the light from the hallway in its dark embrace. Quietude surrounded us. Yet the swift ascent and descent of his chest reflected my own, a quiet witness to the tempest gathering between us. He found himself ensnared in a tumultuous struggle within his own soul. I felt it profoundly. My voice trembled, ensnared by the burden of unexpressed thoughts. It leaves me utterly speechless, with no words left to express. This is not where you belong. He chose to stay quiet. The burden of his indecision lingered thickly in the atmosphere. Instead, he merely watched me. His gaze was drawn to the graceful movement of my fingers. In that instant, clarity dawned upon me. I had not taken a moment to breathe. Pressed on, delving further into the toy. It throbs against me, as though I were summoning him nearer in a heartbeat. The weight of it all bore down on me. What was I up to? This individual was my stepfather. This was an error, wasn't it? Yet my body remained indifferent to it, longed for the electric thrill, the intoxicating peril of his presence, even if it was simply through his eyes. I was a taut bowstring poised on the edge of snapping. Amidst the mounting pressure, I inhaled sharply, my body coming to a standstill as I drew closer. The edge of existence. Yet in that stillness, Maddox's voice pierced the quiet. Instruct me to part ways with Sloane. His voice came out raspy, heavy with emotion. direct me to depart, and I will comply with his wishes. My breath was caught in my throat. The room was enveloped in a profound silence. The heaviness of his inquiry lingered in the air. He was reaching out to me, offering a lifeline, a way to break free from the suffocating hold of my situation. He was relinquishing his control to me, yet for reasons that eluded my understanding, I discovered a reluctance within me to embrace it. I drew in a sharp breath. My fingers danced over the toy, tracing its path along my skin, yet my mind had wandered far from its existence. Everyone's attention was focused on him regarding Maddox. I carefully lifted my head, meeting his gaze with intensity, the atmosphere heavy with silence and unsaid thoughts. And that was the moment I beheld. I'm on it, the insatiable craving that resides deep within them, the identical craving that clawed at my core, an unyielding dark desire that grips the essence of one's being. I don't want you to go. I softly murmured my words, quaking, just a whisper in the stillness. His expression clouded with turmoil, simmering within his gaze. His lips quivered, teetering on the edge of a profound revelation. Yet silence wrapped around him like a dark cloak. He moved forward with each step, intentional and weighty, until he stood ominously next to my bed. His scent wrapped around me, an intoxicating mix of musk and earth awakening my senses. In that ephemeral moment, something profound stirred within me, igniting a spark. And I had the audacity to hope he would extend his hand, his fingertips grazing my skin. I held my breath, yearning for him to draw me near and complete what I had bravely initiated. Yet he paused, just a breath away from her. The atmosphere heavy with silence, laden with things left unsaid. His warmth enveloped me, drawing us even closer together. The warmth emanating from him, akin to a vibrant blaze. His gaze weighed upon me, intense and unmistakable, as though it were a palpable energy pushing against my flesh. An unsettling tide washed over me, compelling me to twist and turn upon the sheets. The overwhelming pressure inside me hovers on the brink of unbearable. Sloan. His voice quivered. A delicate murmur dances through the atmosphere, heavy with unexpressed feelings. Do you genuinely yearn for this? Fear of the unknown enveloped me, leaving me in a fog of uncertainty. All that consumed my mind was the profound urge to affirmatively respond. I inhaled sharply. My hand persists in its unyielding motion, a quest pursuing the liberation that lingered tantalizingly beyond grasp. I am completely certain. In that instant he broke apart everything I had anticipated. In his last moment, taking a deliberate breath, he clutched the edge of his shirt. The material embraced his skin tightly. With a careful and intentional gesture, he removed it, unveiling the strain lurking below. His abs trembled with every intentional movement. With muscles taut and defined, he tossed aside the shirt. An instant brimming with fervor, my eyes followed the journey of ink inscribed on his flesh. Every tattoo resonates with intensity, the peril he embodies, enhancing his charm. Yet it was not just the ink or the physique. The sheer, unfiltered force was utterly mesmerizing. Each of his movements exuded precision. He commanded the room with ease, a captivating force that commanded attention from all around, and captured each breath. I discovered that I was completely at the mercy of a mesmerizing spell. The image of him pressed against me consumed my thoughts, his form enveloping me, kindling a flame as I envisioned the fervor we might discover together. He turned to me, his gray eyes ablaze with intensity. With a fervor that coursed through me, I echoed the question once more. Are you certain that this time I leaped ahead without a second thought? Truly, Maddox, I am certain of that moment. The world we once understood started to come apart at the seams. The gravity of the moment pressed upon me, as I recognized the treacherous boundary that lay ahead. I felt a sharp awareness of the consequences that loomed ahead. In that electrifying moment filled with tension, heavy in the atmosphere, my thoughts whirled around him. How fervently I longed for his presence at times. Life's moments are forever unchangeable, carved into the fabric of time, eternally lingering in our thoughts. Instances that change the trajectory of destiny with one stunning contact. This was mine. Matthew stood there, his chest exposed, breath quickening as if engaged in a fierce struggle within his very soul. I froze as a wave of heat surged up my neck, not from desire, but from a sudden rush of shame. Had he truly witnessed it all? My heart pounded fiercely as our gazes locked, yet those deep gray eyes unveiled a chilling reality. They had succumbed to hopelessness. And gradually, I too became ensnared in the intricate web of destiny. He leaned in closer, and I could feel my breath catch in my throat. The atmosphere was charged with expectation, and my heart pounded furiously. Every heartbeat resonated in my ears, as though he could perceive the chaos swirling inside me at that moment. His hand glided with a measured, unhurried grace. Trembling with uncertainty, it gently swept a delicate strand of hair from my cheek. His fingers lingered, a heartbeat extending into infinity. A shiver races down my spine. My skin craved a connection that ran far beneath the surface. I yearned for him to possess me, to claim me, yet he was prolonging it. It was as though he intended for me to endure each torturous moment of what was happening. It seemed as though he was intentionally provoking the desires I had concealed for weeks. "Maddox," I murmured, my voice, a delicate strand woven into the profound stillness. "Extend your hand towards me." His quietude conveyed a wealth of meaning. Instead, he settled himself on the edge of the bed. His eyes met mine with an unwavering intensity, a silent burden lingering in the space that separates us. His hand swept gently along my thigh. Every touch sparks a flame inside me, as though he were etching every contour into his memory, each hidden truth of my existence. I bit my lip, arching into his touch, yearning for more. His fingers grazed the edge of my panties. Time appeared to freeze in that moment. A thick silence wrapped around us both. "You desire that I stop. The moment is upon us," yet hesitation was the last thing I desired. "Do not even think about halting." I issued my command with kindness in a moment's notice. He tore the fabric free, his eyes fixated on my figure, with a fervor that coursed through me, sending chills down my spine. Felt completely exposed beneath his stare, stripped bare in every conceivable way. Laid bare, it felt as though he could gaze into the very depths of my soul, revealing each contemplation, each urgent longing, every concealed mystery I had struggled to protect. His fingers brushed against my delicate skin, and I gasped, my legs trembling beneath the intensity of his touch. He leaned in, his lips hovering tantalizingly close to my ear, sending chills coursing through me. "This thought has been persistently occupying your mind, have you?" He inched nearer. His voice echoed through the room, a whisper of breath, charged with urgency. Indeed, I took a deep breath. With each night, darkness descends. The tension between us grew stronger, a tension so thick it crackles in the air. He lingered, exploring the depths of my essence, as though he aimed to etch each response into memory, each breath taken, each sigh, each tremor echoes through his recollections. And then I witnessed it. He stood up, the unmistakable sound of his belt being unfastened, resonating in the electric stillness. His trousers tumbled to the floor. My heart pounded fiercely, and disbelief washed over me as my eyes grew wide. My heart raced, ensnared. In a fleeting instant of pure fervor, he towered over me, far beyond anything I had ever envisioned, thick, stifling, powerful. In that ephemeral moment, time froze. In that moment, I found myself utterly immobilized. This moment had unfolded in my dreams innumerable times. Yet now that it had become real, a surge of uncertainty engulfed me. Could I genuinely manage him? He noticed the subtle tremor of doubt in my eyes and drew nearer. His lips brushed softly against my neck. His voice, a low murmur that offered comfort. "I'll be gentle," he murmured. A whisper of doubt, weaving his voice, Yet I require you to genuinely feel my existence. Without a moment's pause, I proceeded. The burden of my decision lingers in the atmosphere, a fleeting instant captured in eternity. He glided effortlessly between my legs. His hand steadied himself while the other gently cradled my face. His gaze pierced through me as he moved closer, step by step. With careful intent, I drew in a breath with intensity. The stretch was agonizing, challenging the boundaries of resilience. My body tensed with eager expectation. "Take a deep breath, my dear," he murmured. His thumb brushed softly against my lips, lingering there, kindling a flicker of excitement. He opened the door for me. I poured every ounce of my effort into it. I closed my eyes, engaging deeply within the resonance of his voice. The gentle warmth of his touch lingered with every deliberate movement. He immersed me, delving deeper than I had ever envisioned. A plaintive wail. A sound slipped from my lips, revealing the turmoil that lay within. The torment persisted, yet intricately woven with. It was an unmistakable bliss, wrapped in a captivating hold, sharp yet pleasurable as he enveloped me entirely. We paused, our breaths deep and electric. With a silent fervor, "You experienced something extraordinary." He let out a deep groan, his voice heavy with desire. I clung to him with unwavering intensity. My nails dug into his back as he began to move, slow, deep shifts. Each movement echoed deep inside me, kindling a tempest of feelings. A wave of emotions washed over me. Elaborated, devoured, it was completely unjust. Every element was enveloped in mystery, and taboo still. It echoed with an unmistakable reality. Our lips collided with fervor, brimming with an unquenchable desire and pressing need. His hands gripped my hips tightly, pulling me closer with every intense movement. The headboard collided with the wall, an unyielding rhythm that tightened the atmosphere. The heat that surrounded the rheumatics intensified, yet I found myself unable to cope. I inhaled sharply, a sensation striking in my throat. "I shall unveil it," he implored. His voice was scarcely a whisper. "I yearn to feel your presence," and I did so without a moment's doubt. The burden of my decision lingers in the atmosphere, a choice that would resonate in the stillness that ensued. My body wound itself in a taut embrace, then surged forth in a torrent of warmth and bliss that left me gasping for air. I cried out, holding on to him as though my entire being was fading into nothingness. He charged ahead, his grip tightening with fervor, a deep, resonant groan reverberating against my neck. As the last moment slipped away, we collapsed into each other's arms, consumed by a whirlwind of emotions, breathless and enchanted. Our breaths came in sharp gasps, entwined bodies tinged with a hint of bitterness. A tumultuous ballet of longing and immediacy. Our thoughts spun in disarray. The silence lingered thick and oppressive as we remained rooted in place. Words lingered in our throats, a silent acknowledgement of our shared awareness. The threshold of no return had been breached. It all started with, "At this precise moment my vibrator is in action." The night unfurled into an infinite expanse, devoid of his presence, Maddox. The mere thought of my stepfather's name reverberated in my mind. A surge of electricity flows through me. What we did ought to have enveloped me in a profound sense of shame, yet instead of fulfillment, an unquenchable desire engulfed me. As time flowed gently onward, he meandered past, and each reverberation of his deep voice wafting in from the adjacent room, a relentless yearning consumed me. I longed for him with an intensity that would not diminish. Following that night, a boundary had been breached, and we were both aware of it. In the days that ensued, our touches grew intentional, filled with a silent fervor. Our eyes held each other, brimming with unspoken words and unexpressed emotions. In our exploration, we uncovered trails that guided us into isolation. To glide quietly around my mother, like two clandestine lovers entwined in a dangerous waltz. Yet it felt far from a game. The struggle for survival raged on. Maddox started to creep into my room, shrouded in the shadows of night. Quietude, it lingers ominously in the atmosphere. Tread carefully at certain moments. He would just rest next to me. His sizable hand glided up my thighs as I pretended to be asleep, only to yield entirely to his caress. The moment his fingers found my hidden spot. In spite of the danger, the nights continued to arrive. In silence, he would glide in on occasion. He would rouse me from slumber with his enticing whispers. His body pressed against mine, already ablaze with longing. He delighted in the excitement of provoking me. "What is it that you long for, my dear girl?" he would inquire, his voice tinged with a sense of urgency, and I would whine, overwhelmed by a profound longing for him. "Please you, Maddox, your presence is vital to my existence." Every evening shared in his presence intensified the hold of fixation, drawing me deeper. Amidst a tempest of longing and chaos, another memory etched into the core of my existence. He challenged my limits in ways no one ever had before. He filled me with such depth. His presence remained with me, echoing softly into the dawn of the next day. Yet it surpassed the boundaries of mere physical existence. On those sultry nights, he would prepare a steaming bath, his powerful hands caressing every part of my body, before drawing me close to the misty bathroom mirror, kindling a flame between us. There were mornings when we would quietly glide away. In the garage, I found myself perched atop the dryer, my heart racing as he unexpectedly lifted my dress and entered May, stirring a tempest of feelings. The stench of decay hung heavily in the air, an oppressive aura that hung heavily in the atmosphere. It was completely unjust. Nevertheless, it amounted to nothing, almost flawless. I set my vibrator aside permanently, not due to a lack of desire for satisfaction. Yet, for no particular reason, nothing could rival the captivating allure he possessed. I discovered that I was captivated by his size, enchanted by his aroma, and captivated by the profound rumble of his voice. He held me captive, whispering in my ear, taking me wholly. On a fateful afternoon, I found myself returning home earlier than usual. It was merely a chance encounter in the living room. His chest shimmered with sweat, a captivating sight, both enchanting and disquieting. He immersed himself deeply in his task. The shirt lay abandoned, an atmosphere of tension thickening in the air of the room. My gaze consumed him. He looked up, a smirk playing at the edges of his lips. "You are already yearning for my presence." I made my way to my purse. Eluding my hold, my heart raced within my chest. "You cannot possibly comprehend the gravity of the situation." He pulled me onto his lap, desperate voices clashing with an intense immediacy. I could feel the intensity rising beneath me. I pressed against him, filled with desperation and longing, voice scarcely a murmur. "Bring me to this exact moment." That day, there I was, sprawled on the living room couch, adrift in my thoughts, amidst a tempest of feeling. As I pressed against him, my breath hitched with each movement. His hands gripped my waist tightly, with a fervor. In that fleeting moment, it felt as though I was the center of his universe, hanging in a moment where everything else faded away. The stillness enveloped the atmosphere. The garage door stood eerily closed, departing us in a realm of eager suspense. My heart raced on the edge of uncertainty. At the edge of stillness, my mother, Maddox, pulled me away from him, throwing a blanket over us. In a frantic attempt, I struggled to fix my dress. We lingered in that moment, hearts pounding, cheeks aglow, balancing precariously on the brink of revelation. On that day, we caught a fleeting glimpse of the entire scope of our folly. Yet, neither of us could release our grip. The peril only drew us closer together. Didn't it draw us near? Each clandestine gathering, each night, filled with anticipation, each and every risk, merely stoked the flames. There was a time when I believed the machine hidden beneath my bed had me under its spell. However, at this moment, I understand that what I desired went beyond the mere buzz of synthetic material. It was the excitement of being desired, the semblance of mastery. His fragrance remains, a haunting reminder even after his departure. As I gently shut my eyes, the lingering sensation of his presence clings to me, an imprint against my skin. And what instills fear? Mimos understands that he occasionally shares those feelings too. It's not love we stumble upon. It's the desire to deeply understand what is felt, that we neglect to inquire whether it is correct. I once thought that to need someone was to love them. The blaze that ignites within me, the pain within me, body, the manner in which my thoughts held on to his fragrance, it was a testament of affection. Yet, obsession is a silent marauder. It removes your limits, softly murmuring its love, persuades you that suffering is fervor, that fear is excitement. As I lie awake in the stillness, he departs. In the shadows, I have come to realize that true love does not ignite with flames, possesses it, calms you when your universe shakes. And if what I shared with Maddox left me feeling empty when the sun rose, perhaps it was never love to begin with.